How we getting on, people? Luke here from LAGFX. We are back today with a new Sunday Sessions video. As you guys know, this is a little series that we run here on YouTube. And what we do is essentially go through a few pairs that we feel hold good potential for the coming week, providing you all with our analysis and breakdown on these pairs to give you a better understanding on how we are looking at tackling them, which as a result gives you guys the potential opportunity to place some trades next week and profit alongside the LAGFX team. Now, if you have any questions with regards to the analysis I go through today, please leave them down in the comments below. And if you do go on to enjoy this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. All the support you guys provide is very much appreciated. So, the first pair we are going to touch base on today is the Euro US dollar. As you can see, price has traded and penetrated an area of interest, right? This is an area of supply. I would love to now see price continue to trade as lower, breaking structure to the downside. This tells us that enough supply is being introduced into this market to essentially flip the S&D balance, and it gives us a good suggestion that we could short this market. Now, as you can see, obviously this market has been extremely bullish all year, essentially. And if you remember from our last week's Sunday Sessions video, I said to you guys that this break of structure here could actually potentially be a deeper pullback before the next high was created, and that's exactly what we've seen, right? So in order for me to have any suggestion to take this market short, I would need to see price break down to the downside. We would need to see relevant breaks of structure, because ultimately this is still very much a bullish market. I do feel a deeper correction is needed just to clear some of this inefficient structure before we have a continuation higher, which is why I'm looking for those breaks to the downside. But until we're delivered with that, there's no point looking to short this market, in which case we should be looking for areas to buy in from. Now, if we look here on the daily time frames, you can see that we have a doji candle, but what this also acts as is a place of demand, right? This is a hidden order block. This wick to the upside followed by wick to the downside tells us that on the lower time frames there is selling pressure, okay? Now, once we see price trade into this, what happens is those sell orders are removed from the market. So supply is removed from the market. What also happens is the supply that's being introduced from these candles here, they're also removed, right? Because people are taking profit from this area. Now, as a result of that, the supply and demand balance then flips, where there's more demand in the market than there is supply, and that's what pushes price to the upside. Now, for those smart money traders like ourselves, we also look to buy in from areas of demand. So that's why we have a complete flip in the S&D balance. So this could be a key area to potentially look to take this market long from. What we need is a break of structure to the upside that tells us that enough demand has been introduced here to continue seeing price push us higher. And as you can see, when we go down to the lower time frames, you can quite evidently see those sell orders that are ready to be removed from the market before we have that next push higher. So I do want to see a continuation in bullish structure now here, trading us higher before we look to take part. We could say that this right here was a break of structure. Price has pulled back into this hidden order block with this wick, and then price should scale us higher. However, it's quite fractal, and as we know, the lower the time frames we go, the less respected they are. So I would much rather see a more prominent break in structure before I actually look to take this market long. Potentially one here. Once we have that, then we look for a deeper correction before a continuation higher. So we'd get involved at this point. So definitely looking to take this market long. However, I would like to see price break structure to the downside, as I know that price needs to correct itself. It needs to clear some inefficiency before we can continue trading this market higher. Now, the reason why I want to see price trade lower is because it means that we have the potential to get in at a much better price on those buy positions when the time comes, obviously. What it also means is that we have a long way to short this market and trade it lower, which means that we have some amazing potential profits to capitalize on. You know, we saw price trade as low as these points. We have a huge swing to the downside that we can really capitalize on. So be very interesting to see how price plays out. Definitely looking for those long opportunities for the time being, just with price, trading us in a bullish way. However, when we start to see fractal breaks to the downside, that's when we would potentially look to trade it lower. But that right there, guys, is my analysis for the euro US dollar. Be sure to set your alerts at these swing points. Okay, moving over to the Great British Pound to the US dollar. This is the cable. As you guys can see, price traded us perfectly into the area of supply that I provided you all with in last week's Sunday sessions. What I'll do is I'll run that clip for you now. So as you can see, price traded in perfectly. I did want to see price pull back initially before trading in to give us the short opportunity. However, it didn't. It just continued trading us higher and into the zone, which is absolutely fine because it gave us that opportunity a lot sooner. So a big well done to anyone who got involved in this trade last week. I think as it stands, it's currently running 5 RR for those with an entry similar to this one here. Now that price is traded into this area of demand, I am anticipating that we may see price trade us higher up and into the market just to correct itself before a potential continuation lower, right? So we need to preempt this. We need to understand that this could be a possibility. So there are some areas here that price may come to trade up and into before a continuation lower. But ultimately, we need to sit on our hands and wait patiently for price to deliver us with the right opportunities to take part in the market. So now that price is approaching this area of demand, I would love to see some kind of rejection to the upside to give us the opportunity to place further shorts in this market. As we said with the euro US dollar, price rejecting well from this area, encouraging price to go higher is essentially following our euro US dollar analysis. This is exactly what we want to see from this zone here, right? So it's amazing to see that our Great British Pound to the US dollar analysis and euros to the US dollar analysis is still correlating with one another. The reason why this is the case is because the US dollar is a quote currency for both pairs. What we're essentially saying is we want to see weakness in the dollar next week, but that would be short-lived before a continuation in bearish structure, right? So quick analysis here for the cable. I do want to see price trade us higher, potentially give us some opportunities to take this market long, and then we would just scale in and be careful with any entries that we do place as it approaches these areas of supply, because ultimately price could just continue to then trade lower. Right, so we need to be cautious and we need to ensure that we are managing the trades we do place with care. But that right there is my analysis for the cable. Very quick and brief, I know, but it's essentially the exact same analysis as the euro US dollar. It's just a case of waiting for us to be delivered with entry confirmation to short the market, so actually long or short the market. If we go on to break this low, then like the euro US dollar, we would then be looking for short opportunities, but price will pull back first before obviously trading us lower in the market, right? So it's just a case of sitting on our hands, waiting patiently for price to deliver us with some trading opportunities. The final pair I'm going to touch base on today is the gold to the US dollar market. This is a market that I scaled in on last week for some personal clients and placed some scalp-like trades just to help with their portfolios. Where do we think it's going to go this week? What are your guys' thoughts? Me personally, showing signs of bullishness still. We are yet to break these highs here, but it looks as though price has found liquidity at this point and it's using this as a level of support, right? So I think that a new high could be created this week. We could see a continuation trade on higher. Again, what does that tell us for the dollar? We want to see weakness in the dollar, right? Which coincides nicely with our GU and EU analysis. Now, if we are delivered with price breaking these lows and we are seeing price protect these highs, then yes, we would look to short this market, but it would only be until price trades into one of two zones before we then look for that reversal and, essentially the next bull run, because that's not something we want to miss, right? We want to be able to buy in at a good price with a refined entry to really maximize our potential returns with this market. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. These past 2 months have been absolute torture in terms of the Forex markets for me personally. I know a lot of people trade differently to how I do and phases are completely different for them. Whereas this phase in the markets has been difficult for me to trade. The first 6 months of this year were a walk in the park, right? But since last week, I mean, we placed a few positions last week, profited from all of them. So it's nice to see that we are starting to be delivered with tradable opportunities based on our strategy. So I feel as though we are coming to an end of one phase and starting a new phase, which is more favorable for us. And I do believe next week is going to deliver us with some amazing trading opportunities, and I'm looking forward to getting involved and making some good money. But ultimately, with this pair, I want to continue to see price trade higher, buying in. It's just a case of waiting now for price to deliver us with some opportunities to take this market long. We do have an order block here that price may trade down into before taking us higher. We also have a hidden order block here. We also have a fair value gap here. So price may come down to trade to this point and then trade us higher. This would also fall in line nicely with all of this supply, all of this selling pressure that's been left here and not cleared. So a deeper correction before a continuation higher may be on the cards this week. So we could look to buy in around this area here, seeing price pull down and then taking off to the upside. So keep an eye on the 3654 area, as that could be a good place to potentially buy in from. If we're going to break these lows here though, I would be holding off on those buy positions, and I'd just be waiting to see how price plays out, because it may be a case that price is ready to put in a deeper correction, yeah? But that right there, guys, is going to summarize this week's Sunday sessions video. I know we've only gone over 3 pairs today. Those are the 3 pairs that I've really got my eye on this week. The US dollar Swiss franc is not really playing how I want it to, and the silver market, that's just taken off without us. I provided some analysis for a 1-to-1 on Wednesday, and it's done some crazy numbers. It's just an opportunity I missed, unfortunately. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As I said at the start, if you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comments below. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. I just want to wish you all a very profitable week. I appreciate the continued support from you guys, and I'll catch you in our next Sunday Sessions video.